Hey guys, so I wanted to try something new. I wanted to see if it would be more helpful with me recording the ed puzzles. So here we go. So looking at this problem, this is a review of what we learned yesterday. It's Module 3, Lesson 10, and we are going to be adding, and remember, our objective is to add fractions with sums greater than 2. So we know by looking at this, our sum is going to be larger than 2. And the first thing that we're going to start with is we need to ask ourselves, can we do anything? Can we add these together the way they are? And that answer is no, we cannot. So I am going to go ahead and put I'm going to put my whole numbers here. But now I'm going to rename. So what we practice in class is we are going to rename. We're going to rename 1/2 and we are going to rename 1/5. Now, one thing that we were practicing is you guys coming up with that common denominator right off the top of your heads, which was amazing. So if you're not quite there yet, that's okay because you can list your multiples. So if we're listing our multiples of 2, it's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, okay? And then you can list your multiples of 5, 5, 10. I know I can stop at 10. And I know I can stop there because I'm just looking for something they have in common. And we found something they have in common. They have 10 in common. So when I look at this, I know that my new denominator is going to be 10. So then we ask ourselves, how are we getting from 2 to 10? And the way we do that is it took us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times when counting by 2 to get to 10. So we are going to do 2 times 5, which equals 10. And it's important to remember that everything we do to the denominator, we must do to our numerator. So we're going to multiply our numerator by 5. And the reason for this is not because of that silly rule, we are simply renaming the fraction, but we can't rename it if we're multiplying it by anything greater than 1. So fractions are division, and 5/5 is 1 because 5 divided by 5 is 1. So that's how we get that. And now we can name our new numerator, which is going to be 5 because 1 times 5 is 5. So I'm going to go ahead and put that right over here. Originally, I had the 2, and it was 2 and 1/2, and I'm renaming 2 and 1/2 to 2 and 5/10. Now we're going to move on to renaming our second fraction. And our second fraction was 1/5. And if we look right here, we can see that we skip counted by 5 2 times. So we're going to multiply 5 by 2. And again, since we are multiplying by one whole, to make the whole, this needs to be 2/2 because 2 divided by 2 is 1. And then we just multiply straight across. 1 times 2 is 2. So now instead of having 1 and 1/5, I'm going to have 1 and 2/10. And since my denominators are now the same, as you can see right here, the denominators are the same. They are both 10. We can go ahead and we can start doing our addition. So if I add these together, you could do this multiple ways. You could just add your whole numbers first. So 2, or you could do 2 plus 1 plus 5/10 plus 2/10. If you want to do it that way, you can. And when you do that, you know that 2 plus 1 is 3. And you know that 5/10 plus 2/10 would be 7/10. And then you can just bring these back together. So you would have 3 and 7/10. So that would be your answer. So let's do another problem. Maybe. Can I move this? It's not letting me move forward, which makes me really sad. It's because this is in the way, but I don't want to hide my tools. I know what happened. Hold on. Can I control it over here? Turn on student paste. Got it. There it is. Okay. We learned together, you guys. So now we're going to do this again. And this time we have 2 and 1/2. And we have 1 and 3/5. So that is our problem. I'm going to go ahead and do my renaming right over here. To save us time, I'm just going to go ahead and do 2 and 1/2. I know because we have 2 and we have 5, and we just did that. So you should know that your common denominator, because we just did it, is going to be 10. So then you just ask yourself again, how did you get from 2 to 10? What did you have to multiply by? 2 times 5 is 10. So remember, you are multiplying by 1. And so if you have your denominator is 5, that means your numerator has to be 5, because 5/5 is equal to 1 whole. And then you have 1 times 5 is 5. And then down here, you're going to ask yourself, how did I get from 5 to 10? Well, to do that, you multiplied 5 by 2. And you could use your fingers. Fingers are tools. They're great. 5, 10. Took you 2 times to get to 10. Go ahead and add that. Whatever you do to your denominator, you have to do to your numerator, because again, you are making 1 whole. 2 halves is 1 whole, because 2 divided by 2 is 1. So 3 times 2 is 6. Ooh, I like this problem. So we're going to go ahead and rename this. I don't know if you guys can already see why I like it. When I do the EdPuzzle, I know it's going to be one of the questions I ask you. I'm going to be like, why? I already know. Okay, so this is the other way that you could add it up. And this is the more common way that you're used to seeing. So we always start with our fractional parts because that is our smaller unit. And we know that 5 plus 6 is 11. And the denominator stays the same, so it's 11/10. And then we have 2 plus 1 is 3. So it's 3 and 11/10. Now, hopefully you guys are like, wait, what? Because 11/10 is telling us something. Because our numerator is larger than our denominator, we know that we have 1 whole. And there are a couple of different ways that you can take this out. So let me make myself some room here. There's one standard way where you could say 11/10, and you could subtract out that 1 whole. And in order to subtract, you have to have common denominator. So you would make the denominator 10, and then you would make the numerator, that's right, 10, because 10/10 is 1 whole. And after you do that, be sure to always put your whole down here because you got 1 whole. After you're done doing that, you do your subtraction. 11 minus 10 is 1, and your denominator stays the same. So it's 1/10. So 1 and 1/10. Or you could also do this way. I enjoy showing this stuff to you guys because I don't want you guys to ever forget. You could also do a number bond. Number bonds are awesome, okay? So we can number bond this bad boy. And again, you're going to just break it apart. You're going to break it apart with, you're going to make 1. And to make 1, it's 10/10. And then what you have left over is 1/10. And then you just know, or if you don't know, now you know. By the way, that was a song when I was growing up. 10 divided by 10 is 1. So that is 1 whole. So now this is what we don't want to keep this answer like this. We want to rename it. So I'm kind of a little bit out of room here, and I do apologize for that. I'm going to just kind of put it up here. So we have 3, and we already renamed right here 11 tenths as 1 and 1/10. So I'm going to take this 3, and I am going to take the renamed 11 tenths, and I'm going to add it together. 11 tenths is 3, or I'm sorry, is 1 and 1/10. So then you can just add that together. What is 3 plus 1 and 1/10? And hopefully you guys are yelling at me right now, 4 and 1/10. And it wouldn't be an awesome ed puzzle if we didn't have some amazing word problems for you. So let's get started. Angela practiced piano for 2.5 hours on Friday. So 2.5 hours on Friday. I'm going to underline Friday here. 2 1/3 hours on Saturday. I want to make sure I remember Saturday. And then 3 2/3 hours on Sunday. How much time? So we always underline our question. How much time did Angela practice piano during the weekend? So we want to know during the weekend. Well, what days are our weekends, you guys? Hopefully you guys are all yelling at me right now. The weekends are Saturday and Sunday. So that's what I'm going to do. And how much, and since it's asking about the whole weekend, it means we're going to add it together. So, I kind of feel like they want all of it. They want Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So we could do all of it. We're not afraid, are we? We're not scared. Okay, so we have Friday. We have Saturday. And then we also have Sunday. Friday is 2.5. We'll just do it all together. It's a 3-day weekend. And then Saturday is 2 1/3. And then Sunday is 3. That's funky. Let's fix that. Okay. 3 2/3. Ooh, there are 2 that have common denominators. So that means, guess what? We can just add these together right now. So let's just do that. Okay, so Friday, we'll get back to you in a minute. So let's go ahead and add these guys. Always start with your fractional parts first. So 1/3 plus 2/3 is going to be 3/3. Uh-oh, what's 3/3 called? Hopefully you're telling me it is 1 whole. It's also known as an improper fraction. And then you have 2 and you have 3. So 2 plus 3 is 5. Now, you can do one of 2 things here, you guys. So you currently have your answer. I'm going to put this right here where you can see it better. As 5 3/3. You can do this 2 different ways. You can just go ahead and keep this in fractional form and change your denominators, or you can make life easier. And let me show you the easier method. Again, this is 3/3. 3/3 means we have 1 whole. So I'm going to rename this. 5 3/3 is the same as 5 plus 1. And we all know that 5 plus 1 is 6. And now I'm going to have a much quicker and easier time adding Friday and Saturday and Sunday together, because now I can just quickly do 2.5 plus 6 equals, and hopefully you guys are all like, oh my gosh, that's so simple. That's 1/2, and this is 8. So all together, Angela practiced 8.5 hours over her 3-day weekend, is what we will call it. I hope that helped, guys. Bye.